Hello, welcome again to the ZombieTactics channel, and today I've got kind of an interesting gear review for you. You may recall a few months back I did a review, I think it was in September of 2010, on a product by a company called High Gear or something like that. Check it out on the channel. And they made a product called the Solar Pod, and I thought it was the coolest little idea in the world. You had a small solar charged device that had a battery in it, and the idea was you'd charge it whenever there's sunlight, and the battery that's inside of it you'd use to then charge your USB compatible appliances at whatever time there wasn't sun. So you could charge it up over however many days you want, and the battery would retain the power, and you could then charge that product at your leisure. Great idea for a product, and I think in a way sort of inspired. The product itself, the High Gear product, turned out to be absolute crap. But I've been on a quest to find a similar device ever since, and been testing out some various solar products, and today I have the result of that quest to show you. Now, one of the things I thought was great about that product conceptually was the idea that you didn't have to have the thing you were charging right there in the sun at the time that you were charging it. And I thought this was smart for a lot of reasons. One of them being that usually when you're charging from the sun, if it's a portable device, you don't have a big enough device that you can really effectively do it. You've got to carry one of these large fold-up panels, and those are great, but not always easy to use and carry. And for that reason, I just thought that was a little unwieldy. The idea of having the ability to charge the device at your leisure and have a battery store the power was a great one. Well, I've got a review, and there will be a couple of twists and turns to this today, of the Brunton line of products that accomplish essentially the same thing. So let's go to the tabletop and let's start talking about these. On the tabletop here is a product called the Brunton Restore. And it is an interesting little affair here with an internal battery. You can see this is kind of fat because there is a battery in there, and two solar panels, and a cable with some USB connections here on the outside. They also make a couple other variations of this device. They make one called the Freedom, which is the same thing. It's just like pretend there's not one solar panel on it, and it really is the same thing. It's just minus one solar panel. So same amount of power will be charged in that battery, but it'll take you longer to charge, or it'll take more direct sunlight or something like that. They also make one, and I'm rolling pictures in here as I go, they also make a device like this that's different altogether. It has no solar power charging capability at all. It's designed only to be charged from some USB source or a plug-in power adapter, and it has a slightly larger battery in it, and that one is called the Inspire. So it's kind of a, a mama bear, papa bear, baby bear kind of thing. Choose your product accordingly. All of them also come with this 12-volt to USB adapter that works just fine. I'm actually using this with my iPod in my car, and that's one of the primary means that you can also charge the device. You can charge it from your car, the 12-volt adapter, or you could charge it from any other device that has a USB output on it. So this cable you could hook to the side of a computer that has a USB port, kind of a nerdy way to go about it, or any external device that had a USB port on it, maybe another solar charging device or something like that. In the case of the Restore, the Inspire, and the Freedom, you've also got a light on the side. It's an LED powered light. It doesn't really put out a ton of light, but it's enough to find your keys in the dark or find your way around a dark campsite at night, and that'll just light for freaking ever on the amount of battery power that there is in here, so that's kind of handy. You've also got an on and off switch here that also acts as a battery checker, and I just want to draw your attention to this, that this device shows that it's fully charged, and I kind of doubt that it's fully charged because it's been sitting in a backpack for about 3 months since the last time that I've used this. So it's doing a very good job of holding the charge that I did do on this device by sticking it in some sunlight for a few hours a few months ago. And in that case, it's kind of cool because it only does take a few hours. You can charge this up during 6 to 8 hours of decent sunlight, and I mean decent. It doesn't have to be direct. And as I showed you, 3 months later, still holding, maybe not a full charge. It says it's a full charge, but I'm going to guess it's not. And that's a great thing about this device compared to the device I previously reviewed, which would not hold the battery power at all for any amount of time, seemingly not even a few hours. So right off the bat, this thing's just working great. You can also, so far as charging is concerned, if you've got an iPod and it comes with one of these, plug-of-the-wall adapters, you can turn right around and plug that puppy in the wall, like that, and charge it up from that, and it'll work just fine. When you're charging it, I'll bring in some video here that I shot separately for these purposes, but there's a little lightning bolt indicator here that you can see, and that flashes on and off to show that it's getting a really good power source. And in my testing, if you got a tremendously great amount of sunlight, you could actually note that the little lightning bolt would be flashing on and off as well, although that was difficult to see in full sunlight, so I'm not really sure how good an indicator that is for its intended purposes. But that's the basic product design. It's very rugged. You get the impression that you can beat this thing up and it'll take a licking and still keep ticking, to use the old Timex line. And on that subject, I want to show you something kind of that bears on that concept. You might notice as I slide this in that there's something wrong with this device, and that is because this is the original Brunton Restore that I started testing, these many months ago, and I wonder if I actually hit the button on this, whether it actually even shows that there's still some charge in here, and you can actually use the power that's in here to charge a device up. It's kind of crazy. This has been through hell and back. It's been dropped out of a backpack a few times, and the final blow was that I had the device sitting on top of my car, and I thought it was safe there, but one of my daughters, mom wanted to use that car. She saw this on top of the car, thought she was doing a favor for me by moving it to the other car that I normally drive. She put it on top of the roof of that car. I drove off with it, and lo and behold, this thing went careening off the top of the car as I was going about 35 miles per hour onto hard pavement. When I came to a stop sign, it actually went dink, 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 bouncing down the road, ripped off one of the solar panels, and guess what? The solar panels got messed up and broken, and some internal circuitry works got messed up, but still held a charge. It's still holding a charge now, and if I want to, I think I tried this before, guess what? The LED flashlight is still working on this product that has been all but destroyed. As I said, the solar panel doesn't even work anymore, but the internal battery does. And so it's, for a piece of camping gear or something for the end of the world, I think this product is really built to take it. Now, as wonderful as that is, and as well as the product has done a good job of getting a charge and holding a charge over time, all of that would be worthless if it didn't actually work for its intended purposes, which is to allow you to charge some appliance, some USB device, at a later date and time after you've gotten a solar charge on this. So how did it do in that regard? Well, the camera that I'm using right now to film this video, to tape this video, there's neither film nor tape in the camera. It's an SD card. I don't even know what you call it anymore. To video the video? That seems redundant. I've charged several times using this Brunton device because it is a USB chargeable camera. It works great. I get out someplace where I want to do some video, and oh gosh, what do you know, the battery in the camera is kind of terrible, and this thing will charge it up completely. I've got the iCam Spyglass, I don't know what you'd call it, action camera, which uses a USB charging port. And this will charge up completely several times from the power that's in the Brunton. And that works great. So, right off the bat, my video kit is getting more use out in the field simply through the use of this device and solar charging. Not much to say bad there. I said iPod earlier, but what I really meant was iPhone. There's the iPhone, and I'm going to show you some pictures of what I did with the iPhone. I actually ran it down to the point in time where the bars were in the red, and then charged it up, and I didn't even get to the point where I used all the power in the Brunton on a day that I wasn't even able to charge it up completely, and I went from 13% to 65% power on the iPhone in very short order. In other words, this would be a great power backup device for your iPhone. It'll run directly off of plugging this into the USB port, right like that, and turn on the power. I did it wrong. But there you go. Finally, you get it working. The red light connector comes on, shows you that the phone is charging. You can see the icon there if I let it focus in on it. And the pictures will do a better job of doing that than anything. And now I'm charging my iPhone. So that's a great backup power supply for your iPhone. You can run it directly off of it, or you can just charge it whichever way you like. So for anything that's USB based, this will work fine. And that includes battery chargers that will run off of USB. There are several that will charge a couple of AA batteries in a USB compatible little charger. And so all around it's a great product. I can't really say enough about it. It's rugged. It does the job that it was intended to do. It holds the charge. It's very friendly so far as being easy to operate. It's got a built-in LED light. Not too much bad that I can say about the Brunton series of solar charging devices. The Restore, the Freedom, and the Inspire from Brunton. Those are going to get a big ZombieTactics stamp of approval because I continue to use them as I go along. That's ZombieTactics for today, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.